What is up, y'all? It's your girl, Taylor Wayla.
Hi, everybody. It's your girl, Genesee Iman.
And we're in the studio with two very special guests. Introduce yourselves.
Hey, y'all. It's your girl, Danny.
What's going on, y'all? It's Kalel.
And you're listening to Let's Be Real.
Okay. All right, so let's get into it.
Okay, so y'all, today we have a very special guest, Miss Presidential Candidate for SGA, Miss Danielle Eubanks, y'all. She is in the studio with us today to talk it up about her campaign, the Reconstruction CSU.
I gotta get it right.
Yeah, Reconstruction CSU. I know y'all been seeing it all over Instagram. The campaign is hard. She been on Main Street with the snacks, with the lunch. You know what I'm saying? She cares because she's trying to feed you.
Yes.
So, Danielle, right? Why did you choose to run for it? Why did you even join SGA to begin with? Because you're not new to it.
Mm-hmm. So I joined SGA 2 years ago. I saw some things on campus that I didn't really like.
Right.
As a lot of people on campus sometimes do, but the difference was I kind of just felt like I needed to do something. And since I'm paying, money to go here, I was like, I need to make it the best experience. And also, came to Clayton State because I wanted to come to Clayton State. So I was like, if this is a school I want to come to and it's a school I want to stay at, I need to make sure when I leave, the people who are still here enjoy it. So that's why I joined it.
Right.
So, why did you choose to come to Clayton State? Like, out of all the schools, like, you seem like you're very passionate about it. Because a lot of people don't like it here.
Yeah.
So, what is it that you like?
So I'm actually from Rennes, Georgia. Hey, everybody from Rennes. So I'm from Rennes, Georgia. It's like in the country. It's near Augusta. So a lot of people down there don't really know where Rennes is. Do y'all know where Rennes is?
No.
Exactly. Most people don't know where Rennes is at. So I'm down there by Augusta, and they actually came to my school a lot. Clayton State came to my school a lot, and I wanted to go to school in a city area because my high school is across the street from a cornfield. So I mean, we are country. Like we country.
Right.
So I was like, I want to go.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Don't do that. She's talking about horses in back.
So I was like, I want to go to a school in the city. And then I looked at the schools in Atlanta, and I was like, okay, that's a little bit too city.
Right.
But I found Clayton State, and I'm like, okay, this is 15 minutes from Atlanta.
Right.
It's a chill school. It's not too big. So, yeah.
Right. Here.
Somewhat affordable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. Go ahead.
So now let's get into the juicy question. Why are you running for SGA president?
I am so happy you asked. The reason I am running for SGA president is, like I said before, I've seen some things that I didn't like on campus. And the main thing is, though, I've been in a lot of different positions on campus.
Right.
Not just leadership positions. I've been that student has done horrible in a class.
Right.
Has had a horrible grade.
Right.
I've been that student that has lost my scholarship before. I've been that student who has retired military parents, and I have to figure out my funding for school. So I'm not like that perfect student that has just had all A's since I've been here, hasn't had any issues. But the thing is, I've had those issues, but I learned how to fix them.
Right.
So I know that if I become president, I can show other students, and I've been in their position. So I'm not one of those people who are saying, you need to do this, you need to do that.
Right.
I've actually been in that position. I've actually sat in those, sat in that feeling.
Right.
I've been in my room crying because I've lost my scholarship. So
Right.
I can tell them exactly what to do, and I can feel exactly how they're feeling. So that's kind of just why I want to do it.
Right. Okay. So what would be something that because your theme is reconstruction, like what is one thing you want to reconstruct, or where do you feel like your reconstructing is starting with? Like, what do you...
So you want to know just one?
I mean, yeah, you could give us a lot if you got a list, but not too many details.
I got you. So the whole purpose of the reconstruction thing, as I told y'all before, we're knocking down everything that's wrong and we're building everything up. Everything isn't wrong.
Right.
Everything is not wrong.
Right.
But the things that are wrong, we're knocking it down and we're rebuilding it completely. So my three things for my reconstruction theme is advancing recruitment and retention, because a lot of students come here and they don't stay, or they come here 2 years late and then they finish. But we don't want students to come halfway. We want you to start here, we want you to finish here, we want you to get your graduate degree here, and we want you to work here. So that's my main thing.
Okay.
Recruit them and retain them.
Right.
One other thing, rejuvenate Laker Pride. I'm sure y'all go to basketball games. Y'all are in organizations. Rejuvenate Laker Pride. We want it to be a thing where the only reason you can't go to things on campus is because you have class or because you have work, not because you know, I just don't want to.
Right.
So
Right.
people rather sit in their room and look at the ceiling than go to
Right.
school events. So rejuvenate like a pride. And lastly, increasing of candid conversations between the faculty and student body. A lot of times the faculty will answer our questions, but it's kind of like you're not answering it head on. We want you to answer our question directly and not beat around the bush.
Right.
So kind of get more honest conversations between us and the faculty.
Okay. So, what is one thing that you feel like needs to be fixed between the student and faculty other than that? Like, how can we increase our communication?
Well, I feel like one big thing is, you know, we have a diverse campus and a diverse student body, but I don't believe our faculty is as diverse as we are.
Okay.
So I feel like we need to have yeah, think about it. If
That's
you go in
true.
the classroom, we have a whole bunch of people of different ages, like various ages, a whole bunch of people of different races, different backgrounds. When you look at your professors,
They look the
they all
same.
kind of look the same.
Yeah.
They all kind of look the same. So kind of have like a mutual mentorship type thing. Like we're showing our professors, our faculty and staff about us, and they're showing us about them. So kind of, you know, fix
Okay.
that.
Lit.
So what is something that you feel like is going to be one of the biggest challenges, like, you know, as far as reconstruction?
Money.
Money.
Just like in real life, it pays to build something new. It's not free. And since this is an idea from the students, it might be a little more difficult to get the faculty and staff to kind of, you know, tag along with what we're doing. But just like we've been doing with the campaigning, we have ways to, you know, fix stuff for cheap. So that's
Right.
our main thing. Like, we're going to try to rebuild, but we're going to try to make it cost friendly. So that's my
Right.
biggest thing, I think.
Budget.
Yeah, we're going to budget.
So, in the case that you do win, right? What do you plan? What is your plan for the fall semester? Like, what do you want to have done by the end of the fall semester?
So if I win,
Mm-hmm.
immediately I want us to start planning like during the summertime, and I want us to have an SGA week for the first time ever. I'm gonna say it's the first time ever. I don't know if we've had one before, but I think that's the first time ever. So I want us to have an SGA week and kind of just have more pride on campus. Maybe during the week, like give out school supplies, scantrons, pencils, the bonfire that we did during homecoming. Do that during the fall. Get the professors to come to, you know, something and kind of, you know, mingle with us. So
Wow.
immediately
Right.
start planning for like an SGA week.
And I really like the idea you brought up about like school supplies, giving them out, because I know like as far as you know, our student body here sometimes, especially at the beginning of the semester, that's an issue, like getting supplies. And because you guys are SGA, that will kind of give off that idea that, you know, we're here to support you, we're the student, you know, for a student. So I definitely like that idea.
And one other thing, I was saying like maybe a book, I don't know how to say it. Like everybody bring their books that they have, they use, they purchased last year. And we can kind of just put them out in trade. I guess like a swap thing.
Right.
Like
Not
we
necessarily
can swap-
buying it,
Yeah.
but just swapping.
Because we can do that anyway. So
Right.
maybe like have a swap thing. So the books that I have, if you need it, we can switch with each other. That type of
Right.
thing.
I love that idea because them books are expensive.
They are.
Okay, so
We actually have a question from the live. So they want to know. Okay, let me explain the whole situation. So basically, she said that she stayed here in Morrow. Like she lived before she started looking for schools. So she didn't want to stay home, like because it was so close. You know what I'm saying? So she's asking how are you going to get to like the high school students to let them know, like, you know, you may be close, but Clayton State's still a good school to come to. Like what? Like it's okay to stay home. It's okay to, you know what I'm saying? Like what would be your approach for that?
Well, for me, one big thing, even though I didn't know this because, like I said, I don't live close to here, but coming here, I have a lot of friends who live in the area, and they're like, oh, okay, I'm not really feeling it. I wasn't really trying to come here. But I can tell anybody who lives in the area, and they're like, I don't know if I really like it. Because the size of the school, you have so many opportunities to, like, reach high positions, and then you reach those high positions, you can get job opportunities. So you might not be able to get that. Like, you might want to go to school in Augusta if you're from Atlanta, but you might not be able to get those opportunities. And being so close to home, honestly, if this was my home, I kind of would be like, okay, this is lit. Because it's not all it's cracked up to be to, like, live far away. So that's my main thing. Like, you have so many opportunities at this school, being that it's so close to Atlanta. I'm sure y'all on the radio show, y'all have become in a high position in CSIR, and I'm sure y'all have gotten like opportunities in
Yes.
Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So that's my main thing.
Yes. So Khalil, I know we haven't, spoke to him during this interview, but I want to know, like, what about your background? Like, where did you, as far as like high school, where did you come from, and what made you want to come here, so that she can, see.
Okay, so originally I moved from New York to actually from New York to Jonesboro, so I am local. I went to high school here, and I was thinking about venturing out myself, but for the cheapest option, I considered Clayton State.
Right.
So, but I myself was like, I don't even want to drive back and forth and then still try to have that vibe or get that real college experience.
Right.
So I was just looking in and venturing into different ways on how I can be more active with the school myself.
Right.
I think one good way you can do that is becoming an RA. I'm an RA myself, so you get to live on campus for free, as well as there are other benefits to it, but it is a job.
Right. So you're saying like one of her approaches would to be to make sure, how you said there's like a lot of opportunities, to get in leadership positions, or there's a lot of opportunities on this campus. One of the main things you can do is kind of be detailed with students when you go, talk to high schoolers about what is open here. Like you said, maybe RAs or maybe this, maybe that. Like we have this on campus so that they can know, like, there's like the actual details about what's available for them. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I have one more question for you.
Okay.
Regarding your campaign. You've been asking the question lately, how can we make students realize their power? What do you think
You can do for that
Yeah.
to make students realize their power on campus.
Okay.
Me and Genesee, we had a great
Great talk.
conversation yesterday, like a long conversation, and I'm gonna steal her answer because I like it. And when we initially asked that question, it was because we didn't know the answer to it.
Okay.
We did not know the answer, but I like her answer, so I'm gonna steal that. So not only going to students and asking them and telling them that you have the power, but like showing them in different creative ways that they have the power. I feel like one example of that was this week right here, us campaigning. We are doing the same exact thing people do every single year, but for some reason they're like, "Oh, I like this. I like that board. I like this theme." So finding a way for it to for you to intrigue them and not wanting them to come to us, we have to come to them. Go to the students, go to their rooms, pull them out on Main Street, not just walk by and say, "Hey, vote for me," or "Hey, join SGA." No, pulling them and saying, "Hey, you have the power to change this issue on campus. Come to our meeting." Hitting them up, texting them, "Hey, don't forget we have a meeting at 12.
Right.
So actually informing them of the power they have and doing it in different creative, like visual ways and different marketing ways.
Right.
So,
I know what we talked about, we were saying to like display big visual, like either posters or something of that nature, like around to, like, for instance, say there was a vote and there were certain results. Like the poster would show the results and it would
Like
say
a poll.
students. Yeah, it would say
Okay.
like students voted for this, thanks students voted for that, and this is the result. And they would be, like looking at it like, "Hey, I didn't vote for that. Like, I was involved in that." And then there would be somebody there to kind of like, direct them to where they can, like, partake in the next action or vote. Like, "Oh, if you didn't get a chance to vote for this, we're actually having another vote on such and such, and here's a flyer, or here's information for the next meeting, for the next vote."
and like she said, like, and to do polls like that, like actually have the numbers. And we said something yesterday, like, for example, if 5 more students would have voted for this could have happened.
Yeah,
8 more students
right.
would have voted. You can see that. So, just showing them, not just telling them, showing them that you have the power to do this. You only can be mad if faculty and staff so much.
Right, exactly. Yes.
Okay, well,
That sounds
y'all
good.
make sure that y'all please go vote for Miss Danielle Eubanks.
Yes.
When are the
Yes,
elections?
just give us the whole spiel, like, where they can go, what time, when it's available, everything.
I didn't even ask you, why do you think that we should vote for you? Like, did we?
We
like,
didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't ask that, but I think it's kind of some of the answers that I said. For one, I'm going to be cliche, but because I love SGA. That's for one. I love it. I'm passionate about it. My friends have to stop me doing other things for me so that I can, be focused on other stuff. So I am passionate about SGA. I said this in high school. When I graduated, like my senior year of high school, I said I want to be the SGA president for Clayton State. You can ask my friends. I said this years ago. So this isn't a thing I just woke up today and said. I said it. I planned for this. Like,
Right, spoke it into
yes,
existence.
I planned for this years ago. So my main thing is I'm just very passionate about it. And to answer your question, okay, voting begins this Friday. Voting begins this Friday. If you go to clayton.edu, let me get closer.
Yes,
If you go to clayton.edu/SGA, you will see like some orange words and it'll say vote now. If you go to vote now, it will have a few names. You can go to me, Danielle Eubanks. Also, if you want to see more about what we're doing for our campaign, you can go to the hashtag ReconstructionCSU. It's on both Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook.
And if you would like to see more about me and see if I'm not just faking what I'm talking about, you can go to my Instagram at thedanny.love. So THEDANI.LOVE, and you can see all of the things that I have been doing.
Right.
It didn't just start. So yeah,
Right.
that's
So
right.
y'all heard it. Y'all make sure y'all go, like she said, partake in a vote. Something you have the power to do on campus.
Yep.
So make sure you vote. So when you see the SGA president, regardless of who it is, don't say, oh man, I didn't vote for them, or I'm mad that they're in this position, because you had the chance to do it. So
Period.
make sure you guys stay alert for Friday when it opens.
Friday, it's going to be open all day.
I believe it starts at 8 a.m., but don't quote me, but I could probably get that information for sure.
Okay,
Right.
lit. So, let's hop into some other news that's
Yes.
not as bright, but much needed to be talked about. Mr. Nipsey Hussle
Right.
passed away, what was that, last week?
Yes,
So,
31st.
Yep, he got shot 6 times outside of his store in Cali. The whole story has been taking the internet by storm. Everybody has been grieving. Everybody has been clout chasing and doing all type of other things in the name of Nipsey Hussle. So I just want to go ahead and just bring some light to him. He was a father, a husband, an independent artist that was very successful, and also an entrepreneur.
Yes, he actually had a couple of things going. So I know he had a business called Vector, which he worked with a lot of like entrepreneurs and things like that. So he wanted to help them on their journey to with their business and help them out. And not only that, but he actually had he was going to make the documentary on
Dr. Sebi.
Yes.
Yes.
And he was somebody who, was heavily into health and curing, different sicknesses. Everybody just talks about cancer, but I know he did other things such as, talked about just all types of different sicknesses. And, like Taylor said, he was just an overall,
Great
just
man,
great.
like
Like
a highly influential man,
Highly respected.
and respected on both sides. Even though he was gang affiliated,
Right.
on both sides he was respected.
Both sides.
OGs, new school, all type of stuff.
Right.
But I wanted to bring this up. If y'all feel like his death was gang related, truly. Because that's what the police are trying to say. They've got the guy already, Eric Holder, I think it's his name or whatever. I don't believe it, just because of the Dr. Sebi information that was released and the timing of it all. And I had read something that was saying that the police have been doing like patrols, like they were doing like drive-bys through his spot, like they was trying to scope him out or something like that. And I read that the guy who shot him was paid off by the government.
Yeah.
He had a deposit in his account of over $100,000. I think they were supposed to pay him like some millions, I think, if I'm not wrong. But he didn't get all the money, but they did pay him.
Right. Yeah, I as far as that, I feel like it's a little difficult to tell what even went down, honestly, because it's like everything is kind of a blur, or everything is kind of like secretive and kind of like low key when it shouldn't have been, because there was literally cameras all over the premises.
It's 2019.
And yeah, exactly. So it's just really, really difficult to tell, but to me, like it just doesn't sit right to think it was gang affiliated, just because of just how the whole his situation was. Like,
He was respected.
Right, he was well respected. The time, the way it happened, it just doesn't seem like
Right.
it would be something of that nature.
Right.
So it definitely doesn't sit right with me. So
What do y'all think?
I personally like conspiracy theory.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say,
We got a lot of those today.
yeah, I'm gonna go with that. And of course, I have no idea what happened, but I think it was a mixture
Okay.
I feel like this guy, his name's Eric Holder, right?
Something like that.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna say Eric Holder. I feel like he probably did want to kill Nipsey Hussle, probably. And maybe he did have the opportunity to get paid off. So maybe it was a mixture of the two. Like, I actually want to kill him. I actually have a problem with him, and I'm gonna get paid off in the process. But
Right.
like she said, we really don't know, and we may never know.
Right.
Right. What about you, Khalil?
So, you know what? In regards to his death, it all did seem a little planned out and a little fishy. Because to my knowledge of, I think Eric Holder, you said, apparently he was one of his friends.
Right.
Another recent information that came out, he didn't have his bodyguard with him.
Right.
I don't think he.
Nipsey didn't have his bodyguard with him.
With at the store, and to know that his bodyguard's not with him, and then where he's at when and where he's at the store, just to find out that information, it seemed kind of crazy to me.
Right.
And just overall, just how it all happened, like what you were saying, Genesee, about the money situation. That's a lot of money to just be coming out of nowhere. So
For nobody.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Period.
Right.
As well as him just being, supposedly his friend in his circle. So
Just
to
doesn't
me, it just doesn't
sit right.
Yeah.
Right. It just really doesn't sit right.
It doesn't. So, for those who don't know about Dr. Sebi is a natural herb doctor who cured a lot of diseases, like a lot of them. I think he cured AIDS, all that, like just off the strength of knowing that mucus is the cause of all diseases. Like, he was tried in court, defended himself, and won the case.
And
won, you know what I'm saying? And then they killed him. So that's, to me, that just gives reason as to why the government would want to try and off Nipsey, considering he was about to do the documentary.
Right.
And I'm sure it wasn't going to be no Lifetime type stuff
Right.
either. It was probably going to be big.
Big series, right? And because I noticed in a lot of his work, and I'm not gonna lie, like, I wasn't a huge, like, not that I didn't listen to it, but I didn't, I wasn't a huge fan of his music. Not saying it wasn't good or anything, but I just didn't listen to it. But I'm not gonna lie, yes, when his death did happen, I did take the time to listen to his whole album throughout and reflect on it and watch his videos that he put out to him. And I just noticed that he's like really a detailed, passionate, like strong man when it comes to his visuals, when it comes to his lyrics. Like, everything has a purpose and an end to it. So I feel like, just like you said, when he talked about making a documentary, they were shook because it's like, this isn't going to be something that could just be swept under the rug, because he was going to make it big.
And when he said it, he was like, because everybody was like, you going to make this, you got to be careful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They was like, if they get me, y'all better stay down.
Right.
Period. And that's exactly what happened. But R.I.P. to Nipsey Hussle.
I have a question, though.
Yes, ma'am. I'm not going to answer.
About, I know I don't want to, be messy, but about this, Lauren London being involved in, because that was his girl.
Okay.
How exactly do you feel like, social media is playing in on it? Like, I know a lot of people are saying, like, they're constantly reposting them as, like, relationship goals. They're constantly talking about other things besides the fact that, he's gone, and it's just sad. But they're saying, like, everybody's using them as, like, a kind of a safety net for their own relationship or something, or they're like, not giving them the time to grieve, and they should, like, stop reposting, stop doing things like that. So it's like, how do you feel about, social media's part in this, in the death of Nipsey Hussle and everything?
I personally feel like, even though it's sometimes agitating, because it's like every time something happens, seconds after it happens, it's all over social media. But at the same time, we have to understand we are not where we were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's not going to change no time soon.
Yeah.
Like, we just have to, understand that that's what's going to happen. But I feel like there's tact that has to be involved. You can't, if someone's, they weren't married, right? That was her boyfriend. If someone's boyfriend, significant other, anything passes away, you have to know what to say and what not to say. And I'm not going to speak on it, but, like, for example, Kodak Black. I feel like that was not tact. Like,
I didn't even listen to what he said, just because that's a clout thing that I'm talking about. Like, why does everybody feels like if I don't say it on social media, then it's not verified in real life. And I say that to say Future happened first. His comment where he was trying to equate himself to Nipsey Hussle as if
do with this.
No, it's not even that he didn't have anything to do with it. It's just his comment like we need more people like us.
Yeah.
Like who? When you confess, and I'm serious. Like when you've literally, his lyric literally says, "I drop a tape, the murder rate increase." That is, and it was on the radio. So how can you equate yourself to a man like Nipsey Hussle?
And not only that, I watched his interviews, Nipsey's interviews. Like when he died, I just like dived into all of his work. And he even said, like, his music, he didn't make it for radio. Like, he didn't make radio music.
That's why we didn't hear
it.
He
made music to really get points across and really speak and put knowledge in people's head and really speak on things that are, like, real reality. So that's where I couldn't connect with Future. It's like, whoa, like, y'all are not even on the same level. Like, you doing it for plays. You doing it for the cash. Nipsey was really, of course the money came, but he was really doing it because that's something that, you know, he wanted to do. And you can see that through his other projects. Not only does he put out music, but he invests in his community, invests in people, and helps uplift them. So those are two different. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know about that. But with Kodak Black's situation too, that was a whole other messy situation, because I know you said you didn't really know the situation, but he got on. He was being recorded. I don't know if it was Instagram Live or what, but. He was basically, don't know word for word, but he was basically saying, like, you know, he's trying to shoot his shot with Lauren London. Yeah. But he was basically saying, like, he wants to be her male best friend and stuff, and he's going to give her, like, 2 or 3 years to grieve.
Yeah, that was wild.
Then he's going to shoot his shot. Some stuff, it's not even what you say, it's why did you say it.
That's what I was saying about Future. Why do you feel like you have to comment that under that picture for clout? Because what else was it? Why do you feel like you have to say that?
Right.
Like,
why did you say that?
Right. Why?
And that's what I said. And another thing is, I just don't, like, and I could tell, like, the way, you know, I'm not even going to say, like, I can tell exactly what she's going through, because you can never imagine what she's going through in London. But I know she is, like, deeply hurt to the point where it's, like, really feels like there's no solution to the pain she's feeling, like there's nothing to do. So I honestly feel like, I know a lot of the celebrities are reposting and still showing love, but I feel like I agree with some people, like, you have to give it a chance to, like, breathe, for her to breathe. Because I know recently Rihanna just posted a whole nother, like, video or collage of videos and pictures of both of them, and was like, I'm so sorry. That's all she said was, I'm so sorry. And it was like, you know, kind of like a picture of all of their stuff. So it was just like, it was just like, basically, it was just like the message was just like, that's it. Like, you're just going to say, I'm sorry.
Right. And
then just have a collage, like, and then tag her in it. Like, of course, seeing that is going to make, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like they're adding on to it. Especially, like she said, the fans, the people, they're going to just do it regardless. But as an artist and someone with a same platform, you know, as far as clout, you should be more understanding and not add on to all the hype going on.
Unless you just want the clout.
Yeah, because you can directly message her if that's the case.
You don't even have to directly message her. Like, why do you feel like you have to even go up and say something, period? Like, I'm pretty sure if I was Lauren London, like you said, I don't know exactly how she's feeling, nothing like that, but if I was Lauren London, I wouldn't want to talk to nobody right now about anything related to Nipsey at all. Like, don't ask me about how I'm feeling. No, nothing. Like, why? Why would you even do that?
Yeah. And if anything, like, focus on, like I do agree with the people who are kind of making the best of the situation, or are shining light on projects that he has started and finishing them, and, like, you know, trying to, I know his mother,
the legacy and stuff.
His mother actually posted a video recently about, you know, his death, and was like, please stop, like, you know, yes, it was sad, but, like, this wasn't word for word, of course, but she was basically saying, like, yes, it was sad, but Nipsey was great in his energy now that he, you know, in heaven, like, his energy is still here and it's boundless, like, it has no limits now. So, like, you know, you got to think about it in that way, and continue his legacy, continue the good things he's been doing, and he's even greater than he was now.
Right.
because he's, where he's at. But I just feel like things in that situation, okay, but the constantly, like, I'm sorry, Lauren adding her, like, I can imagine how you feel adding her, like, that's
Right,
just,
that's
You
not
can't
making
imagine
sense.
how she feels.
yes, that's just, no.
That's-
Do you remember, like, I wasn't his daughter, like, right there?
Right.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's right.
exactly.
Right in front of the
She was-
store.
Exactly.
She was there.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was
His
wild.
young daughter was right
Yes.
there. It's all
That's
over.
crazy.
So this is all screwed up. That's why I said I just feel like the situation, and I feel like that's why it has so much of an impact. One, because of who he is, and like we said, he's well respected, and you can just feel like people are always saying like, oh, you didn't listen to his music, or you didn't know him like that. But when somebody dies of great, like, just energy, they just have that energy or presence, like, for instance, like that glow, like they just have that. It affects you. Death, especially of a person, like I said, that just has that glow or that energy, or like, that's that what they give off, it affects you and you can feel it. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I'm not gonna, because I don't know any, like Malcolm X, all these other people who died in activists, people like that. I'm pretty sure people didn't follow word for word their footsteps or what they were saying, but when they died, they felt it,
Right.
because they were someone of importance.
But that's kind of messed up how it takes somebody to die for us to actually realize their value
That
and
is
their
true.
worth and what they
Yes.
meant, because people wasn't really rocking. I ain't hear Nipsey as much as I have now. For all the times that that man's been on the grind independently
forever. His music was
Ever.
independent.
Like,
All the cash was coming to him.
ever,
I
yo.
genuinely felt bad, like, when he passed away. And I know it wasn't my fault, but I felt bad because I had never listened to him before.
Yeah.
And it's like, I never listened to him
He's
before.
straight.
And I feel like
His music is
that this whole situation just proves that you need to give people their flowers while they're here.
Yes.
Because
You
it
never
should
know
not,
when they
yeah,
go.
you never know.
And speaking on what you said, Genesee, I went to last week. I went to the Nipsey Hussle Memorial at Morris Brown College, and as far as activists go, Killer Mike was there. He made a presence and he spoke. Like, it's sad how things of this nature happen. Seeing the fact that possibly.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah, possibly, the fact that his death happened in his own neighborhood. At the time, of course, we wasn't sure of all the circumstances, but his point was grasp the ideas and the ideology that Nipsey Hussle had going on.
Right.
If you rolling, and you know what that means,
Right.
you better be rolling the dough. That's one of his,
Right.
that's what he said.
Right. Yeah.
You always want to start off your own business. You always want
Right.
to show love for the people that's of your same color. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And uplift your own neighborhood. Some of the
Right.
same ideals that Nipsey Hussle had going on.
Right.
So I say that to say,
And
these are things that we need to incorporate.
Right, and that's how you continue his legacy instead of, like, yes, it's a sad situation, and I will forever feel that impact. Like I said, he was just a person of importance and had a crazy just energy about him that you just couldn't shake off. But I just feel like in order to, like, continue his legacy, you can't stop what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, the marathon goes on. We have to continue. We have to uplift each other, especially people of color, because that's what, a lot of his projects were centered around minorities. We have to get up in those CEO positions, up in those business levels, be entrepreneurs, keep the ball rolling for each other, give back, and actually make his story and what he wanted a reality. Because I feel like that's what we don't get when we lose activists and people who are speaking out on things that need to be spoken out on. We just, focus on their death and, oh, it's sad, and he did this, and he did that, and he did that, but we don't add to it. You know what I'm saying? Make the death, I'm not going to say that because I don't want to.
Don't let it go in vain.
But don't let it go in vain. Do some, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many activists, how many important people do we have to lose to actually start walking forward and start moving forward and start doing things and start actually, making plays before we, it's like constantly we get distracted. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody's in this game mode right now. But a couple of days or weeks from now, everybody's going to get distracted by something on social media or by
that's
this
just
or
what
that.
we do.
And we just, so it's like
That's just what we do.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's gonna change.
It's not.
It's not like that's why they put in all these movies and stuff like that. And that's another thing that I kind of wanted to talk about was just media and its influence on people,
Right.
specifically Black people. I'm talking about like overall media, like TV, music, radio, all of that, and the messaging and what type of messaging they're putting out and how they're putting it out.
Yeah.
I feel like I was in the car earlier on the way over here speeding, and
See, you can't be speeding, girl.
whatever. But I was listening to Streets 945, and City Girls Act Up came on, right? I changed the station to Hot 107.9. The same song came on. Like, it's in rotation. And I feel like, me personally, this might be an unpopular opinion to some people who are listening, some people on live, but I don't like the City Girls. It's on purpose, but I feel like they, like Jen said, it's on purpose because they know the City Girls are not saying nothing like Nipsey. Like, they're not pushing no real knowledge on people for real.
My take on it is, because if I was to say, like, you know, if City Girl song come on Act Up, yeah, I'm gonna act up, because that's just the vibe. But my thing is, don't lose yourself in all this.
I don't feel like some
You know what
people
I'm
are
saying?
built for
Yeah,
it.
and
I
that's
don't
the
think they
thing.
get it.
And that's the thing. It's like, that's where I kind of am on the fence with it, because it's like, you know, of course, all the music I listen to daily doesn't have to be something that's like highly motivated or something like that. And I do listen to things for fun or for vibes or for the energy. But I never forget. Like, I never let myself get lost in all that and start, you know, thinking that's real. Like, or thinking this is real life, or thinking like, you know, all the stuff Future says, all the stuff Thug says, all the stuff City Girl says, oh, that's real. Like, no, because I know it's not.
But
and that's
it is.
but you have to, that's the thing, you have to like
Make the distinction.
make that distinction with yourself, but also you have to have a balance, because that's why I feel like some people are, like you said, they don't have that sense of like knowing, because picture like that dark hole, like they done felt all the way in it, and it's too, like, you have to realize that and keep that balance between, like, yes, I listen to that music, but I also get back up and be like, okay, it's time for Nipsey, it's time for some real stuff, it's time, like, when I get up, I'll listen to like motivational speeches and feed my spirit with good things, because some people just do all negative, all bad, all this, because it's like, you know, it's the trend, and that's when they start to lose their self and they're not woke, like they be saying. So I feel like you have to keep that balance. You have to know, like, okay, that's why, like, certain movies, certain videos, like, you can't keep feeding that to your body, because it's gonna have an effect on you. I don't care what anyone says, like,
Repetition.
oh yeah, you know what I'm saying, I'm this, I'm that mature, okay, but naturally, like, scientifically, your body, if you give it something, if you're constantly seeing something, that's like talking about how someone grew up and where they grew up and when they came from. Like, if you're surrounded by something and you grow up in a certain environment, that's what you're gonna be used to. So you have to realize that and say, yo, yeah, I listen to City Girls, yeah, I like this music, yeah, I like that, and that's okay. Like I said, that's okay. I do it too. But no, I think it's okay, because you can't. I'm not the type that's gonna be serious 24/7 as far as, like, you know, the genre I choose. But it's just, you have to know, like, this is not it. This is just for the moment. This is just, you know, just the vibe for right now. But this is not real. This is not it. Like,
I feel like I understand. I feel that, and I'm not saying like all I listen to is just real woke shit, all the other kind of stuff. But I feel like, getting back to what she was saying, where it's just for the moment, it's just entertaining. That's why we get caught off. That's why we forget about stuff like Nipsey and stuff, because we be entertained and we let that entertainment last a little bit too long. Our
that's
attention
what I'm
span.
saying, but that's why I said it comes into play is the balance.
I mean,
The balance. Because that's why I said, if you constantly, you just said you're doing too much of it, and then you forget, like, you get distracted, you forget.
You know,
But that's what I'm saying, keeping that balance and keeping that mindset, knowing, like, this ain't real. Like, my mom used to always tell me that growing up, like, yeah, you can listen to that, yeah, you hear what they saying in the lyrics, but that's not for real. Like, you better not think that, like, let that mess you up from reality and think that's for real and start living by that stuff, because that's not it. And that's what I always knew, like, okay, you know, you have music for fun, and you have music that's really gonna get into your spirit, and don't let that be the music that gets into your spirit.
I feel you. I feel you. So,
oh, go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say, like, you know, there's the thing, like, the saying, we all know it, ignorance is blessed. So I guess falling back on a lot of the issues that go on today, A lot of people block it out just because naturally it feels good, but I mean, it's not going to change what we have or what we're facing and going on today. So I think, you know, you have a great point.
Right.
We got to find a balance because, of course, you don't want to be overwhelmed with all the issues that we have going on and to the point where it affects you and fall into that black hole.
Right.
But yeah, you know, you definitely want to find a balance. You definitely want to try to take the time to listen, see what's going on around you. You know, try to be active in changing it. You know, trying to be that difference if you can, no matter how big or how small.
Right.
So, do you feel?
I actually love that question. That says, "Why is America scared of black men?"
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. So
we need to talk about that.
So, I think.
Wait, that's the question again.
Yes.
Yeah.
why do you
Why?
feel like America is scared of strong black men?
You know what black men we're talking about.
No. So, first and foremost, let's first get into the fact that, you know, let me just say, because I learned this in my African American religion and study and psychology class. We are not the minority.
Yeah.
We outnumber the man, and you know, disrespect to to this race, but the Caucasian man, we know who that is, the man, by a lot. And so, therefore, we have the power, we have the knowledge, we have, and a lot of it is because the men or these people that are racist towards us want to beat us. You know,
And that's really what it is for us.
that's.
Let me just start by saying, I feel like America is scared of the black men because they know they are highly capable of so much.
Yes.
And not only highly capable because of, you know, added assets, but just who they are in themselves, what they already have naturally.
Yeah.
They're scared of that.
Exactly.
Because picture that being all, you know, solid and getting they, you know, their morals and everything intact. That's already a threat. And then you're gonna tell me you're gonna take that type of black man, give him money, give him resources, give him the right environment.
Education.
That's a threat.
Right.
That's a threat.
You remember what they used to do, like during slavery and stuff, like
Right.
they didn't
Separate them.
they don't want us to have no books because a black man that is educated and knows he is educated can't do
It's
nothing.
crazy.
It's over.
It's crazy, and they know that, and that's why, like,
but
I'm not gonna.
we don't know that.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
and
the
that's
thing.
the issue. That is the issue, and that's what I'm saying. And just having the mindset and not getting distracted by the media, because we don't know that because of what they put in our faces and the way they distract us and the way they have us trained with this mindset.
We're mentally slaves.
Yes. And that's the things to know that and to not feed into it, but take away from it and actually, I hate using the word get woke, but I need another word, but
Become conscious.
Become conscious of like who you are and what you're capable of. Like that's where the step it needs to be. Like this first step is just like
I say like it falls back on like the structure of how things are being run in regards to us and how we can uplift each other. I think a lot of it brings down us as people. Like we bring each other down.
Yes.
Because we don't love each other.
Yes.
That's because we don't know how to love each other.
We don't know how to love each other. We're so warped with what is like Western,
Western philosophy.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
not only that, but like I said, like they train us to be that way, to hate on each other, because that's the this is crazy because that's the only way they can. That's another tactic for them to make us compete and make us step back from what we're capable of. Because if we stop, bickering amongst each other, pointing fingers at each other, and we actually get this confidence and come together, that's a threat. You know what I'm saying? So their way of combating that is to get us to fight amongst each other by media, by social media, the way they display stuff, to make us look at each other up and down, make us look at each other as less than. But you think they do that to each other?
It's a cognitive battle.
No. And a lot of times people think that, you've made it. Like in the black community, we feel like we've made it. When we can be flashing, when we can look down on each other. But they forget that the point is when you make it, you're supposed to be picking people up on your way. On your way to the top, you're supposed to be picking people up. You're not supposed to make it up there and then you don't want to tell nobody how you got there. You just want to look down on everybody.
I think it's funny how, and you just said it, when we think we made it, when we get flashy things, when we get the materialistic things, when exactly, that means absolutely nothing if you don't have your family. Like if I'm driving a Mercedes Benz and my daddy's still driving a Toyota, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Not even that. If you're driving a Mercedes Benz, but you're still not looking back and uplifting the other black men that are behind you that are trying to get up, you're not. You're not
trying to give them the tools. Like my dad was telling me earlier. My dad was telling me earlier when he was going through his early stages of getting into the workforce and everything like that. He was really good at this one job, but he was new booty. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else he was the youngest guy. He was the only black guy, and all the other white guys weren't trying to help him out. Like they would give him tasks, knowing that my daddy the man. You know what I'm saying? But he don't know everything, and they're like, "Nah, we had to go and get it ourselves. So you gotta go get it yourself."
And that's
not how it's supposed to be.
And that's why I feel like more black men, black women, just people of color, minorities need to be in these positions, like these higher, authoritative positions, and need to realize I need to help others get in that position and not be competitive and look at each other and be like, oh, well, I'm up here, I'm not going to let you get up here either.
Right.
No, we need to all be up there because that's when change is going to happen. Because like I said, their way of combating us getting in those levels and us all being up there is us fighting amongst each other, because they know if we don't, if we are giving back and we are looking at each other as actual brothers and sisters and actually with all love and just compassion, that we're all, it's going to change. Times are going to change. Things are going to change.
But unfortunately, it's
just, you know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, we will just never get it right because of how stiff-necked we are as a people.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not going back to Nipsey, but that's another reason why his energy was amazing, because he was one of those people who had, was cautious and he knew, like, I have to give back and I have to, I'm here and I'm not where I want to be yet, but I am somewhere that someone else wants to be, and their next step is where I'm at, but my next step is where, who knows who his, role model was, but that's the pattern. It needs to be a pattern. It's like,
stepping stone.
You know what I'm saying? So
we also need more mentorship in our communities. Like that's the only way that these black men and black women are going to figure out, the power that they actually have. We need mentors. Like, even if that's what people forget. Like, they think that because nothing's going wrong right now, I don't need a mentor. How many times have you seen people make it to the top and they say, I ain't had nobody. My whole time growing up, I was by myself. That may be true, but that should not be the norm. Like,
yes,
we should have mentors.
Right? Exactly.
And our mentors, we do have mentors, though.
Yeah,
we do. It's our public figures like Nipsey Hussle and all them. So it makes it hard to kind of pick out what's a good mentor when you got all these trash people doing all of this stuff, distracting people, like with just nothing but noise, feeding us everything that will kill us instead of what will keep us alive.
To us and actually
but nothing against Nipsey Hussle, but the thing is, we have Nipsey Hussle in our own community. We need to make those our mentors.
Exactly.
Right. He's all the way on the West Coast. There's people right here in Marlboro who can be our own mentors, who can actually contact, who we can actually communicate with, and like help us on our journey. So I think just everybody.
Right. Yeah. You gotta go ahead into the other topics. Go ahead.
Okay, so the next one is, should we look to public figures to guide us consciously? That's a good question.
Yeah, I feel like if they're inclined with your values and morals, yes.
I feel like no. We should not. I feel like we shouldn't look to them for the guidance. I feel like a lot of stuff people need to do on their own. People need to research. Like, I can tell you right now that Pepsi products, McDonald's, all them have baby kidney cells in their food. So we're eating people. That's a fact. But I'm telling you that, but you need to go research that so you can verify it. You know what I'm saying? So that's.
But I feel like in a way you are still, like, the reason why you knew that would be because of someone.
No.
So yes,
I mean,
because
yes.
you just told me.
Yes.
So if I didn't talk to you, I wouldn't know to look that up.
But I'm saying,
You know
as
what
far
I'm saying?
as looking to them for all of our information.
Yeah,
like,
you said all, but guidance in looking at them for just complete direction and guidance is different.
Okay, well,
guidance
I'm talking
is
about
like,
direction.
Right, like I mean direction, I can understand that because everybody's direction is different, everybody's path is different, and you have to figure that out because if you're walking someone else's path, that's not your path. You got to figure out your own, but you can use their path as a guiding tool to figuring out what your path may be.
Right.
And that's what I feel like.
Yeah. But as far as like them leading us consciously, I feel like especially right now we shouldn't really bank too much on it because of the lack of at least publicly conscious public figures. Like, and I feel like a lot of them they might be conscious in some type of way, but I feel like they're kind of scared to come out and say stuff, or they can't because of their team and how that looks like just media control in general. So I feel like people need to really do their own research. Like, if you want to find something out, you look it up.
You're right, and it's funny you mentioned that because it was a while back, like a few years back, I think I want to say the 90s, whenever Charles Barkley was still playing in the NBA, he was doing an interview, and it was like, yeah, I just want to say, to all the young people, don't look at me as a mentor because I'm just doing me. If you look at me in a positive light, that's respectful, that's understandable.
And that's what I
But
agree
me
with.
as a mentor, I don't want you to look at me as that because I'm still just doing me. I'm going to react how I react. And I can respect that to a degree, as far as, public figures, trying to have a mentor, like I see them as almost what I would consider the end goal, like where I want to be in their position.
Yeah, right.
But I guess going about it, I would have to use my own sense of hustle and drive to
And
get
that's
to that.
Right, and that's why I agree with, because I feel like that's a way of like, guiding you to what your path is, because you can visually see like, okay, this person's doing this, or they're doing that, or they're doing this, and like it's not directly, what your path is, but it may inspire you to find yours, you know what I'm saying? Or it may inspire you to tweak your path, or say, you know what, maybe it's not this, actually what he said kind of inspired me, so maybe I should look at it differently. And that's what I agree with. Like, I know for you to look at someone and say, oh yeah, they're going to just influence all the decisions I make, no. Because their decision isn't always good for you, because everybody's story is completely different.
That's how a lot of kids specifically, the younger generation, it's raps for them.
But that's because of materialistic things like that. They're using I feel like they use materialistic things to like validate if someone has made it or not, or if their path is of value or not. And like we just said, that doesn't mean anything. You can have as many cars, as much money as you want, but does that mean your path is golden? No, it doesn't. Because you can have all that, but mentally you're screwed. You know what I'm saying? Or you're not giving back, or spiritually you're not inclined. Like, so it's just that's why I feel like they're gonna just be lost in the sauce.
And I say, like, when you say the youth, I say, like, it definitely falls back on the environment that they're surrounded in. Because if we're surrounded by negativity and whatnot, we pick up on it. We live around it. And also, fall back on what you said, too, that, we need local mentors. And so, I mean, you're right, you do need it, but local mentors will definitely help.
So why do you feel like celebrities are like not using their platforms enough for like positive change? Like, why do you feel like they're more reluctant to using their platform?
Okay, I personally feel like they don't have to. Now, hear me out.
Okay.
Some of these people have become celebrities not on purpose. And it's like, Cardi B, for example, she always says, like, oh, I'm not here to be anybody's mentor. Now, like, what can you say for a person who accidentally became a mentor? I mean, accidentally became a celebrity? Like, should they? Well, I mean, yeah, she did her like Instagram, her comedian type thing, but I never thought that she was gonna be as big as she is.
Right.
Like, I never thought that when she was the stripper and she was making those videos, I never thought she was gonna be as big as she is. But like, what do you say for those people? I guess it's a question to your question.
Right.
What do you say to those people who have like accidentally made it big and became a celebrity, and now they have all this following, they have all these people looking to them for guidance, like, and they didn't want it.
Use it.
Right.
Period.
My
It don't
thing
matter.
my thing is, I feel like, okay, yes, there's people who have platforms that didn't know they would have that huge of a platform. But I feel like, okay, yeah, I can agree with that. But after a while of realizing how big your platform is, it should be used.
But what if they don't have the mindset
right.
themselves? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if they don't have it?
Right. But my thing is, in a positive way, that positive way can be different for everyone or every celebrity. Because I know, like, for instance, Cardi B may have a niche or something that she's very passionate in that she could, like, for instance, like fashion. I know that she's very, 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 like, strongly, you know, passionate about fashion and, you know, collabing with Fashion Nova and those things. So a way to use that platform and that passion in a positive way would to be, you know, promoting different clothing for different size women or different, you know, skin tones or things that are like, you know, progressive as far as, you know, like you know, in positive. So I feel like when people, yes, you have a platform, but you may get scared and you're like, okay, I have to use it in this you know, serious like way, but you know, your platform may be different for Barack Obama. Like Barack Obama and Cardi B, that, you know what I'm saying? But it should still be used in a positive way because that you have something that someone doesn't, and that you know what I'm saying. You have someone that someone doesn't, and you have to make use of it because it's there. Like, you know what I'm saying. Now, how you use it is up to you, but I feel like it has to be used. It has to be used in some type of way, in some type of positive way. It's just that there's no way. Like,
I honestly don't like when people who, like you said, get famous or whatever, whether it be by accident or on purpose, be like, oh, I'm not trying to be a mentor, I'm not trying to teach anybody kids and da da da.
You are.
By not even by choice, like that's just what the heck it is now. Like you have to realize how the world works now. If you are on a camera anywhere, somebody looking at you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody child looking at you. Mm-hmm. If you making music, somebody child hearing you on the radio. Mm-hmm. So whether you want to be famous or not or whatever, you're still impacting people.
And that's what I agree with. But like I said, I'm splitting between both of your instances. Because I feel like, yeah, there's certain people, like, who, yes, you know, like, people's children are looking at me, yes, this and that, but that's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, Cardi B is, if you go all the way back to, like, her first music, like, the stuff she was saying is still the stuff she's saying now. It wasn't for children's ears. But her platform got so big to where now she's in front of children. Now the children are watching her. And I know that, like, for people to say, okay, yeah, my child's watching you, so now you have to be this way, you have to realize, like, okay, now you're asking her to cultivate her life and herself, because that means she has to carry herself in a different way that she wouldn't naturally do so. You know what I'm saying? And I don't agree with that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you should still, that's really tough, because that could lead into so many different things: mentally being drained, emotionally being drained, having to live up to something you never wanted to, and that's why I said she came out raw like that, so that's how she wants to be. That's what she, you know, pushed from the start. It wasn't like, you know, when she first came out, she was like, oh, you know, no, she came out like how she is now. And it's like, yes, I'm on this platform, but for me to compromise who I am, that's gonna make, like, you know what I'm saying, I got to change who I am. Mm-hmm. And that's, people say that all the time, don't never change who you are for nobody and nothing. And that's why I say I agree with that. Like, don't change, but that doesn't mean you can't use your platform for something positive.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
Something positive can come out.
Yeah, anything. You can use, it could be anything. It could be technology. It could be, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's saying you got to be a preacher. You know what I'm saying? But fashion, you know what I'm saying? Rihanna, like, makeup. She did all them shades and all them skin tones. Like, you could do something positive, and she don't have to be a saint while she's doing it. You know what I'm saying? But you using your platform in a positive way, and that's what I agree with. Because I don't think you should conform.
Well, I don't think that you should conform. I don't think that. But some things should just not be in character. Like, to me, I feel like the way that you carry yourself is the way that people gonna see you. You know what I'm saying? So if you carry yourself like a hoe, you a hoe. Period.
But what if I'm a hoe? Like,
Right, that's what I'm saying. Okay, that's fine. That's cool, I guess. But when you get to a certain point, when you have somebody looking up to you in a mentor way, I feel like that's kind of.
I feel like I came out of the hole. I wanted my peak.
Right.
Like that's it. That's what I want to be.
Listen. First off, I feel like now you're contradicting yourself.
Okay.
Only because, one, we just talked about looking up to someone for complete direction.
Mm-hmm.
And you shouldn't.
Right.
Because, like we said, everybody's path is different. And everybody is not, like, you know what I'm saying? We just said that. Like, should you, the mentorship and things like that. Mm-hmm. So for you to say, okay, now you got this huge platform, so now you got people looking up to you. They shouldn't be looking up. They shouldn't be treating me as like a godly
figure. And guess what? And if they are
looking
up, we're gonna go back to this hoe. Mm-hmm. If I'm the hoe and you're looking up to me, I'm assuming you want to be a hoe also.
Right. So
and
not only that, but it's like a buffet. You got plenty of people to choose from. It ain't just me. You chose to look at me that way.
Ooh, wow, that is a deep concept.
Right. If you chose me, I'm assuming you want to be like me, and I'm not. You chose me. You're looking up to me. I'm already here.
So what are we saying for the girls who look up to city girls?
That's but look.
I'm saying no. I'm not answering that question.
And then that's what I'm saying. So you have girls who look up to city girls, but then you also have girls who look up to Michelle Obama. It's your option. That's your choice.
To me, a lot of them, okay, and to speak about city girls,
I don't feel like a lot of
that's
them
your choice. Look up to city girls. I think a lot of them like city girls.
Right.
But if you ask, like, who looks up to city girls, they might look up to city girls Hussle and they drive, you know, to
and there's so many.
But I don't think they look up to city girls.
Right.
You don't think that they carry the same principles?
No, that's the thing. Like, you just said that. Like, you can get from anybody or a mentor or someone of high importance, you can get something from them, but not their whole entree. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she just said, I may like the city girls because of their hustle, because of their boldness, because they say what they want to say. That's may be something I like, and I may take from that and use to find my path. Like I said, you can look at someone's path, you can see it, but you just have to know, like, yes, their path isn't my path, but it may inspire something on my path, or it may help me find my path. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like you shouldn't look up to someone for complete direction. Now, for inspiration, for ideas, for some kind of, light inside you, yes, I see that, but complete direction, no, we just said that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you don't have to look, just because you listen to city girls don't mean you have to agree with everything they completely do, or you have to take after them, but you may be inspired by something they have that others don't.
I feel you.
You know?
It's a slippery slope.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It's a very slippery slope. And if you don't stand up straight, you're going to fall, my God. You're going to fall. Let's not. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Yes. Thank you guys for listening today, y'all.
We had a good little talk.
Yeah,
good little
show. Make sure y'all go vote for Miss Danielle Eubanks, 2019-2020 presidential SGA candidate at Clayton State University.
Yes.
Yep.
Where can they follow you at again, Danielle?
You can follow me at thedanny.love, so THEDANI .LOVE.
And when is voting again?
Voting is this Friday. I think that's April 12th, and I think it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, but you can check it out at clayton.edu/SGA.
All right. And
yes, honey. Y'all make sure y'all vote. I don't want to hear nobody saying, I didn't partake and I didn't know. Exactly, because it's everywhere. Posters everywhere. She's been campaigning on Main Street everywhere, telling y'all her name. Exactly. Danielle Eubanks, you already know.
Yeah. Period.
But thank you guys. The conversation was very, very, very heated. Make sure you stay tuned for our next show. Okay. And we do it every Monday and Wednesday, 6:30 to 7:30. We ran a little, late today because, like I said, the heated conversation. But make sure you stay tuned. And also, if you did not get a chance to hear us We will have our podcast on YouTube, and so you can make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. CSIR Media, Instagram and Twitter, and then also YouTube, Clayton State Internet Radio, or is it CSIR Media?
No, it's Clayton State Internet Radio.
Clayton State Internet Radio.
Subscribe, turn that bell on so you can be notified every time that we drop a video.
And we will see. We didn't even shout our own social media handle.
You know my own, so you go first.
Right. Well, you guys can follow me on all platforms. Genesee Iman, GenniseyImon. That's everywhere except for Snapchat. But I don't need y'all follow me on there, because I'll be posting some stuff on there. But go ahead.
Special guest Kalel.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can go ahead and follow me at TRURELIG1.
Okay.
And True Religion.
Okay. You gotta let them know what just happened. Yeah, you gotta let them know what's
We just recently crossed over into Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. True Religion is my line name, so go ahead, follow the boy. So show some love. Show some love.
Say it one more time. What's your name?
It's TRU.religion. But put a 1 in the second I. You feel me? It's the livest ace in the place. Okay.
Okay. Livest ace in the place. I gotta step it up.
Right.
So y'all can follow me on Instagram at Taylor. That's TAYLA.A.Wayla WAYLAA. You feel me? Because
you're going too hard.
That's just how I feel. So. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Yes, stay tuned. We'll see y'all on the next show.
CSIR, we turned up, so tune in.